Hey everyone, welcome back to Homestead Dreaming. I'm Kira, and today we're going to be putting together and transforming this entire part of my yard. Here's a little sneaky peeky. But basically I'm going to show you how I got all of this done and planted. Today we're going to be putting together a Birdie's garden bed. I was so fortunate enough to have one of these sent to me. I've been coveting these for quite some time. It comes with all of the pieces that you need, all of the sides and the corners as well. So it is put together with a Phillips head screw and a washer and a bolt on the back. It comes with the little piece to hold the bolt in place while you are using your screwdriver. It does not come with a screwdriver. You must bring your own. But it was super easy to put together. You can hand thread the majority of the screws and nuts and washers and then just tighten them with the tools at the very end. They are a metal raised garden bed based out of Australia, and you can purchase them through the Epic Gardening website, epicgardening.com, and if you use my code DREAMING5, you can get a discount off of your own Birdie's raised bed, which I think is just absolutely fantastic. They were so easy to put together. This particular bed is a 6-in-1 bed, and I chose to build it in the thinnest setting that I could. So I used all of the pieces, but if you chose to make it a wider bed or a smaller bed, then there is a possibility of having some pieces left over. You guys remember that 14 pounds of blackberries that we juiced last time and ended up with 5 quarts of blackberry juice? Well, today we are making jam, blackberry jam from our homemade blackberries. We went with a recipe out of the Ball Preserving book, and it turned out absolutely phenomenal. I am so thankful that we are able to grow our own blackberries for our own jam. Alright guys, this is what we got so far. We've got the Birdie's bed put together and set in place. I got some bricks and started laying them out. I got 22 of them and it looks like I don't have enough. I got some soil from a friend across town. She ordered a whole bunch and for garden beds, and ended up having extra, so she was generous enough to offer that to me. I just had to go and get it, so I improvised with as many containers as I could. I'm gonna get this all out of the back and cover the rest of the cardboard here that's still exposed, and in the back here, and fill in the back here, and fill all that in and get that party started. I'm getting farther and farther along on this Birdie's bed, and Basically, it's kind of like an entire side of house transformation, if you ask me. That's mostly because I was using this space as just like a catch-all. I've been meaning to turn it into like a garden for a while. I just really didn't have the vision for it yet, and now I finally do, and I'm really happy about that. We've been slowly filling up the Birdie's bed and filling up the soil around it. I really like the way that I decided to do a multi-leveled garden, and I think it gives it more of a visually pleasing aspect to it to have multiple layers in a garden. So I got some topsoil from a friend that lives just around the corner from me, and then we got a great deal on clearance raised bed soil at Walmart. They had this great organic brand on sale for just $2 for 1.5 cubic feet of organic raised beds soil mix, and it's really light and fluffy. I really like it. So we ended up picking up 22 bags of this Beyond Peat Brands bagged raised bed mix. It's got compost, it's got reclaimed forest soil, and it's got poultry litter. I really like it. It's organic, and we'll see how it goes. I've never had this brand before, but clearance, you can't beat those prices. $2 for 1.5 cubic square feet. It was fantastic. Now we gotta go to Lowe's, get some more of these bricks to finish edging this particular bed so that the soil doesn't wash out. It has been washing out when it rains really hard or really heavily, so we're gonna get the rest of these bricks so that we can finish edging and get the rest of the mulch in and get this bed planted. Oh, this one feels fantastic. Anyways, we managed to get everything filled, amended, and mulched. So now it's time to plant some stuff. So yesterday was my birthday, so I managed to get some clearance plants. They're already coming out with some of their clearance stuff. And I grabbed some herbs and some perennials while I was at it. I also got some houseplants. But we're gonna go ahead and put a few things here in this space. I have a few things started from seed that I'm gonna grab from the front, and we're gonna put some stuff in the ground. Alright, so I started some Stellaris petunias a few months ago, and they finally started blooming. Only managed to get 2 of them. So I decided to put them right here in the corner. I had this shrub left over from when we did our back fence project last year. So I decided to go ahead and put that there. It'll kind of fill out around the stairs a little bit, and I hope you can hear me. It is rather windy, which... thank you, wind, for coming back to me. All summer it's been no wind and super high humidity, and it's not normal for here at all. So I stuck this lavender here in this pot to kind of like fill in it a little bit while these plants are still babies. I had the goal of making my own herbs de Provence herb mix, so I started a whole bunch of different herbs to get that started. Herb de Provence is the most used herb in my herb mix in my kitchen, so I really wanted to be able to grow that myself. Another thing that I put here in this space is rosemary that I had gotten from Lowe's here in the corner. I'm hoping that it'll bush out the way that that bush will here, and it'll kind of create a balance of height on either side of the bed here. I decided to go with a rosemary here so that I can have something that's also edible. That cypress we just had, and it needed to be planted, and I figured that that corner was a good spot for it, so that's why it's there. And then I also had seeds for Victoria rhubarb that I started, and I had one come up. I have had rhubarb in the past. I really like it with like strawberries mixed up. Obviously you can't eat the leaves, but I started one and I put it right here, hoping that the extra shade that this particular space gets will protect it from overheating. Rhubarb generally is a cooler weather liking plant, so I'm hoping with the oak tree above us and the majority of the shade throughout the day that this space here will give the rhubarb what it needs to thrive. In the Birdie's bed, I ended up putting some St. John's wort, some cinnamon basil, and some dark opal basil. So I'm really glad about that. I ended up starting kale for a friend of mine, and caterpillars got all over it. So I told her I would start her some new kale, and when I did that, the old kale that had got eaten by caterpillars started to grow back. So I decided that I would use the eaten up kale and wait for it to come back. And I plugged some up here in the middle here, since it's an annual. Hopefully it'll grow up here in the shade and not bolt. And I have the other ones in some other raised beds that I will show you on another time. Alright guys, I am done with this project. I got the Birdie's bed put together in this entire side of the house, completely transformed. I gotta clean up my mess behind me here. So thanks so much for coming and hanging out with me today on today's video, putting together this raised bed and completely transforming this space and planting it out. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a thumbs up, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. We have a bunch more fall planting ahead of us. I've got a bunch more raised beds that need to be planted, and I can't wait to show you guys what I have in store. Bye guys.